Champions League predictions, last 16, part 3. And welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. Yes, it is the third part of our quadrology. Is that the right word, Thomas?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Of the Champions League last 16, we've got some absolute beautifully poised ties to go over and talk about. They're all going to be timestamps down below, so you can cherry pick between the games, but you really shouldn't. You should hang on every word that we say. And Thomas, I can't stop and hold you back any longer. Lead us into this first match.
RB Leipzig versus Tottenham Hotspur.
So Tottenham really face a mountain to climb in this one, don't they? They're coming up. Not only they're 1-0 down from the first leg, so absolute horror show to go into the second leg with no goals to show for it. They're facing a Leipzig side that are in really, really good form. I think the biggest thing in this is where Tottenham can't keep clean sheets. How are they going to go there and stop Leipzig scoring? I just don't see it happening. And you know that with Mourinho constantly coming out and saying it, goals are hard to come by. Even though they managed to score 2 goals against Wolves and look generally pretty good going forward in most of the games they play.
Do you think he's trying to convince his own team it's hard to score? Because that's what it feels like.
I think he might be own team, board, fans, everybody that they're having trouble up front. But when you've still got players like Lucas Moura, you know, you've definitely still got attacking options out there.
Or
they got a young striker called Parrott as well. I'd love to see him get a start, but plays off the shoulder.
Oh. How long you been waiting to do that one?
Do you want to feel old?
I would love to feel old, Ian.
Their manager's only 32.
Jesus Christ. So he's my age. He's literally my age and he manages...
Okay, well, I'll feel old then. Yeah. And who are you managing? Jokes aside, they are not a very liked side in the Bundesliga because of this Red Bull connection. Very much hated, and they get protested about by many sides in the Bundesliga, but that hasn't stopped them from being really good. Tino Werner banging in the goals for them this season, and you cannot look beyond Leipzig in this one. I think it's going to end badly for Tottenham. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leipzig win.
Yeah, I think you're looking at this and you're feeling Leipzig have this in the bag. Mourinho, I don't know what his Spurs side are doing. I think we talked about it in our Premier League predictions video from last week, which people can see. But they just look at how they managed to contrive to lose every game, and a constant winning here. The first leg wasn't great on their part.
No, Leipzig could have won by more. They just played all the football. They were very, very aggressive. Played with a lot of pace. German league is strong this year, though, isn't it?
I feel this one being 2-1 to Leipzig.
Has the game passed Mourinho by a little bit? Has football moved beyond him?
I don't know if the game's passed him by. He's a very particular manager, and he keeps going into clubs where his brand of management doesn't work as well. If you know what I mean. He needs a team that's ready to win a trophy today. He needs to be like Guardiola and walk into teams that have 17 world-class players, so no matter what selection he makes, he can't get it wrong. And then I think he'll do better. But he keeps coming into clubs that need someone to build them, and that's not his skill set. His skill set isn't building a club, it's managing a great group of players to great results.
So what you're saying is get him back to Man United.
That's all we need. Get rid of Ole, bring him in.
Oh boy, we got Valencia against Atlanta. Yeehaw!
Never going to get past you every time you do that. I don't think anybody, when they saw this, would have probably been like, oh yeah, Leipzig and Atalanta to canter. But that's what it feels like from this first round of matches. 2 teams that wouldn't have been heavy favorites before they came into it. I mean, Atlanta just demolished Valencia at home. This is a side that aren't even doing that well in the Serie A, and they're just killing it in the Champions League. You can't really see Valencia, who aren't having the world's greatest year in La Liga right now, come back from this either. I mean, it's a 3-goal deficit is huge in the Champions League. I think it's been overcome once or twice.
Oh, they haven't got a chance. Again, you have to say, you can't see Valencia scoring 3 without Atalanta scoring at least 1 or 2. So
yeah, honestly, I see this game playing out to like a 1-1 draw or something. Atalanta are not going to come in there looking to drive forward or anything like that. They're going to look to get 90 minutes of football done and go on to the next round, I think. So I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I mean, Valencia have been very up and down in the league. I mean, I think they're in 7th place, so they're very inconsistent. Atalanta have won like 3 games in a row. Tom, get this. They've scored 70 goals this season in Serie A. Phenomenal amount of score. I think they've scored 7 goals in a game 3 times this season.
Really?
They do score for fun. And they're very clinical. They only had 5 shots on goal in that game and scored 4 of them. And you, as I said, you cannot expect...
It's amazing. I've just clicked on the Serie A table, and besides the fact that Atalanta are in great form, they're still 14 points behind Lazio, who were in first place, followed by Juventus, who are 2 points below them, and Inter, who are 6 points behind them. But they've scored 70 and conceded 34, and yet the 8th place team has a better defense than them, and they've only conceded 34 goals.
They remind me a little bit of Leicester, really. Like the way they play a very quick style for Italian football.
Maybe Newcastle under, your Messiah.
I'll go a bit, just like how Leicester, when their first season they were in the Champions League, or their only season, it was very swashbuckling style football. Yeah. Seems a little bit like that as well. It's very un-Italian style of football to watch. But I think Atalanta will win. I think they'll win by 2-1.
Fair.
Probably end up being 7-5.
19-18 with a late touchdown at the end of the first quarter. Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid.
What I meant for you to say was Liverpool versus Pathetico Madrid.
Yeah, I knew you'd go with the Pathetico reference there somewhere.
I can't resist it. I know we're probably going to get a load of thumbs down from Atletico fans, but hey ho, the name sticks for me. Tom, I want you to lead off on this one because I think Liverpool are going out of Europe here.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they respond to the Watford loss and what happens in their game against Chelsea tonight, whether they put out their full team in the FA Cup or not, and whether Jurgen Klopp wants to try and build some momentum and overcome what was a pretty dire 3-0 loss at the end of the day. That's a way to lose a 44-game unbeaten run. Atletico Madrid aren't having the best season on earth. They're not even in a Champions League spot right now in the league. They have recovered slightly. They got 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 4 matches. Yes.
Their last draw, though, was against Espanyol, so that's a really bad result. But then, Liverpool have had a bad result too. So.
Yeah. I think that the way Simeone coaches, that there's 2 possible results here. There's a 0-0 draw, or there's Liverpool winning 4-0. And these are the only 2 things I can see.
I love it. Not 5-0, not 3-0.
They're not coming out to try and even score a goal. I doubt will even be trying to hit him on the counter. I think that they're just going to try and absorb all the pressure. We've seen Liverpool on Champions League nights. The crowd goes absolutely nuts. I'm going to back them. They do this all the time. They live for Europe. They live for it. This is where their best football's played. I've got them beating Atletico 4-0, a bit like that Barca game, was it last year, where they just came out of the blocks and it's just a freight train. And if Liverpool score 1, they're scoring 4.
Well, I think that's obviously where the smart money lies. Because Liverpool have been so excellent. And Anfield is an unbelievable fortress of solitude for them. Yes, that's right. A little Superman reference in there for you. But yeah, on Champions League nights, it is even more fever pitch than it is on league occasions. Liverpool don't have Henderson, and that's a huge loss for them. And I also want to say about, Matt brought this up from Grandstand Betters, is the fact that they haven't really been tested in the Premier League going to come back to haunt them when they play very seasoned, experienced side. And this is what this Atletico side is. And if there is a side in Spain that'll enjoy coming over and being the bad guys and the enemy, it's Diego Simeone's Pathetico Madrid.
Yeah.
Also factor in Diego Costa's back in this one, and he will love being the bastard up front, living on scraps, being a nuisance, kicking Van Dijk all over the pitch, trying to get him sent off. And I could see Liverpool winning the game, but I think Atletico Madrid go through on away goals. I think it's going to be Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1.
I mean, fair enough, but I just can't. If Liverpool score 1, they're scoring 4. I just can't. When they're in full flow.
It's the way they play, though. They're just going to sit really deep, which is like Liverpool negates their kind of hitting them on the break and playing with pace, and they'll be more than happy to just let Liverpool have the ball and play.
Yeah, they will. Henderson is more of a loss defensively than attacking. I'm not saying that he's not a useful tool going forward, but his real skill is kind of screening the back four, putting bosses together, and I feel like this Liverpool side have the creative acumen to once they've gotten a goal, Atletico now have to push up slightly more. They can't, once they've conceded, they can't just sit back because the tie isn't over and it's going to keep going. And Liverpool will play for 120 minutes at breakneck speed. At no one point will they slow down. And I just think that's going to be where Atletico get hit badly. They're too fast. You're
talking rubbish. It's time to move on. Kieran Trippier hat-trick. Next game, please. This could be the tie of the round. Paris Saint-Germain versus Borussia Dortmund.
This is where Paris Saint-Germain will do their yearly failing act in the Champions League. No matter how heavily favored they are in a game, no matter if they have a lead or they're losing, they just cannot go through in this league because they have no challenge whatsoever domestically. They literally only have a challenge in the Champions League, and they find it too hard to get up for it. Their league is too easy, and Borussia Dortmund already proved that in Eric Haaland, they have a guy who just can't stop scoring goals. It's unbelievable, his goal-scoring record this year. It beggars belief. This isn't even like a hot run. It's never ending. It's literally never ending. He pretty much took the game by the scruff of the neck by scoring 2 goals, especially that 20-yard drive he had.
How hard he hit that.
Oh, he just leathered it. I don't rate this PSG side. I never do. There's too many egos and no one dragging them together. I actually think, and I know this is going to sound weird, but if Zidane was coaching this PSG side, they'd win a game because he just has some weird effect on a team of egos.
Win one game.
But he can't win a league title. Zidane has a terrible time in the league, but it seems like in the Champions League, almost always he gets the team to play well. But this PSG side don't have him. They've got old Tuchel. I don't back him to win this. I've got Dortmund winning this 3-1. Away from home.
Neymar.
Yeah.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
Di Maria.
Yeah.
Can't really move that finger very well. Cavani. There's 4 reasons why they can win this game.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, Neymar doesn't count because he literally has never turned up in a big game in his life, has he? I'm not going to win the world.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. He did score in the game.
Did they win?
This one was tighter than I thought. I thought it would be a real goal fest in the first one. It ended up 2-1 to Dortmund. Thing is, Dortmund have improved defensively as well. I talked a lot about how they concede goals to average Bundesliga sides, but I think they've kept 3 clean sheets in a row, so they're getting it right at both ends of the pitch as well. They're still in the race for the Bundesliga title.
They're
as you said,
4 points behind Bayern.
Pardon?
They're only 4 points behind Bayern.
Exactly, and they got, as you've already talked about, Haaland. They got Sancho. Let's not forget Royce. Let's not forget the true Hazard as well. The true Hazard plays for them.
Again.
Yes. Yeah, and also just the strength of the German sides this year. They just look really, they just look a really, really strong outfit compared to everything else we've seen in Europe so far.
They look the top German sides look like Premier League sides on crack cocaine. It's like the work rate is there, the skill level is there. There's a real fieriness in them that you don't always get out of English sides. And there seems to be a lot of know-how, not to be xenophobic or nationalist or something, but they have the German mindset of we will grind and we will win, and the only thing acceptable is a win here. We will lay it all on the table every time we need to. And they get results, and that's the way their league is played. It's how they play every match. Well,
I also do think Dortmund will win this game as well. What was your prediction again?
3-1.
I think one less. I think they'll win 2-1. It wouldn't shock me if it's Haaland getting another brace.
Exactly.
This kid's amazing. Why didn't he go to Man U?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for liking our videos. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. We like all of you very much. And you are I don't know why Ian's showing us his mug, but I hope it says we love you all greatly. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you're enjoying it. And please check that you subscribe because YouTube keeps taking people from us. And we would be at 1,200 subscribers if it wasn't for their willful negligence or whatever they want to call it, naughtiness. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Look below for timestamps. Also, look below for links to Grandstand Betters. Everything we do is in association with them. Yeah, they're great. they're better at this than we are, but only just. And I think that's actually everything, and I'm kind of sick of just talking about this. So, Ian, I'm leading us in. I don't care what you think. It's Olympiakos versus Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well, Tom, you'll be very happy that we don't have to do 5 teams anymore in the Europa League because 2 got knocked out. Rangers and, of course, Arsenal went by the wayside.
Dumpster fire!
And, of course, it was Olympiakos who knocked the Gooners out of the last round. But it wasn't really that difficult or that impressive, I must say. Yes, they did really, really... the fans were amazing. They did really well to go to the Emirates and get the result. But Arsenal were really, really poor. The goals were pretty basic. They didn't have to work hard for them. Yes.
So you said Arsenal were poor.
Well, they were.
Yep. Like literally every game they played this season.
Okay,
Raging dumpster.
Okay, right.
Fire.
Yes, yeah, fine. Yeah.
Sure.
Arsenal kind of almost let them win, they could say, but they still got the job done. But now they come up against a cut above side in the Premier League, and that's Wolverhampton Wanderers, a side who are absolutely firing on all cylinders. They smashed Espanyol in the last round, and although this will be tricky, as it always is, when you go to Greece, but I think Wolves are certainly good enough to get a result, but I think they'll concede. I think it'll be Olympiakos 1, I think Wolves 2.
Yeah, I am just waiting for the next round of this, assuming Wolves and Man U go through, and them getting each other in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. And
it'll be 0-0 in both legs. No, it won't. Juan Mata will score the winner.
But it just adds in, it's always 2 good English teams that draw each other in the league, in the Champions League, the Europa Cup. But this Wolves side are too good to lose to Olympiakos. They're not poor defensively as much as they love to concede a goal. They only like to generally concede 1. Sometimes they concede 2, but much like Kevin Keegan did, they'll just go out and score 3 instead. I actually think that they are going to batter this Olympiakos team. They're too good. They were too good in the last round. I've got Wolves to win 3-0. I don't think that Wolves have a specific change in style in the Europa League. I think a lot of teams in Europe kind of sit back and become more defensive. Wolves in the Europa League seem to take the game by the scruff of the neck a lot of the time, even losing to Espanyol in the last round. That comes from them kind of driving a bit too far forward, and I don't rate Olympiakos. I think Arsenal handed them the victory after all the work Aubameyang did to not mark a guy on the far post in the 119th minute. I mean, what the hell are you people doing?
Right, this is certainly not an Arsenal stream, so let's move on to Glasgow Rangers versus Bayer 0-4 Leverkusen.
I think Bayer 0-4 Leverkusen will score 4 goals and Rangers will score 0 goals and it will end 4-0.
Well, there's analytics for you, but you have to remember, Tom, this is the 4th incarnation of Leverkusen, and they are Champions League dropouts as well. Rangers did really well to beat Braga. Let's give them credit. That was an excellent way to beat them home and away. Fantastic result. But their season is in tatters. They're losing so many games in the league. They went out of the Scottish Cup at the weekend with even Gerrard seemed like he was walking away from the job, which he's just come out today and said, no, don't worry, I am actually staying. But you would think this is going to be a step too far for them. Bayer Leverkusen, pretty decent, 5th in the Bundesliga. Got a draw with Leipzig last side out, so they are a good side. It's going to be in it. I just can't see Rangers getting anything. I think it'll be 2-0 Leverkusen. I
gotta be honest, I actually do think Steven Gerrard's done a really good job with Rangers. I think that he's done well to raise the expectations of them to be challenging Celtic and to try and win a cup. But you got to remember that Celtic have won everything for 6 or 7 straight years. Their team is miles above Rangers still. I think what the biggest thing was is they had that big win where they won at Celtic Park. Yeah.
And they almost over-celebrated it. They almost over-celebrated that they thought the league was won at that point.
Yeah. And
you know how Gerrard, he loves to slip.
Yeah, he does.
This is our main event.
LASK eye surgery versus Manchester United.
What did you just call them?
They're an eye surgery company, aren't they? LASK eye surgery? Or is that the kind of surgery it is?
Oh my goodness, what an arrogant Man United fan he is. He doesn't know anything. So LASK, or Lindsar Athletic Sport Club, if you want to get technical about it, are playing Manchester United. I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but resident expert Thomas Pickering is going to give you his thoughts.
Well, LASK will have 20/20 vision going into this game, and we can really expect them to see what's coming from a mile away. But red strikes fear into the souls of the enemy, and with eyesight like LASK will have, they are going to be petrified of the greatness that is Bruno Fernandes and his merry band of pranksters running riot and roughshod in... What country are they from?
It's either Austria or Australia.
Running roughshod in the outback of Australia against LASK eye surgery. The dust will be everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But on a serious note, Man United have just kind of walked through this tournament on autopilot thus far. Their 1-1 draw with Bruges in the first leg really belayed how easy it was going to be when they won 5-0 in the second leg. I spoke ad nauseum about this. Bruno Fernandes has brought a totally different angle to the team. Juan Mata has kind of been playing better when he's played, but he's still clearly not a favorite of the team. It'll be interesting to see if Romero starts this or De Gea. I suspect Romero will. He's been kind of preferred in this tournament to De Gea. But the Man United team right now, they're on pretty good form. A 1-1 draw against Everton isn't the end of the world. And, you know, this isn't the Man United in their pomp when they're winning week in, week out. I think they'll win here. I think it's going to be a pretty standard victory. I've got them winning 2-0.
Thomas, is this the sort of game you look at on paper and think Man United should walk it? But LASK, they are top of the Austrian league, which is probably a bit of a surprise to some. I think they're having like a little bit of a purple patch as a club. They were second last year. They nearly got in the Champions League. They only fell at the final hurdle in qualifying, where they lost to Club Bruges, who, of course, Manchester United knocked out in the previous round. So you can't take them completely lightly because they clearly are a good side, but again, you have to think Man United are going to be too strong for them, and I think Man United will win, and I think they'll win 2-0.
We just want to thank everybody again for following our channel, for liking this, especially for following our Champions League ones, because Ian puts effort in, but I'm winging it. I'm still pretty convinced that LASK are based in Australia. We love all of you for following, liking. Please keep commenting. 90% of the time, we appreciate it. 10% of the time, the death threats are not appreciated, but you know, these things happen. But we love all of you. We really appreciate everything you guys do for us. We want to keep doing these videos for you, so please like, subscribe, follow the channel. Should we set up a Patreon account? Would you give us 50p? Because we'd love 50p.
Yeah, well, Tom, I mean, yes, but why shall we set up a Patreon account? Why do I have a feeling it'll be me doing 90% of the work?
Because that's what this entire channel is built on. I just turn up twice a week to record.
And sometimes I can't even get you to do that.
He jokes, but he beats me when we meet up together. Anyway, look, everybody have a wonderful night. And if you came here looking for detailed football analysis, Ian.
Oh, God, you're so far in the wrong place. It's untrue.